rest of the code and so on. It's just a complete answer to the data that you gave it. He's got a sample data file on here, so you can just run tonight and take a look at it. And then he has the same type of software for the second question, which involves the slotting of an individual. It's just really great stuff. And so he has example problems there that you can give them as assignments, which I do, and then they have to develop solutions for those. It's a lot of fun. It's not so clean that they're real sure they got the answer. Some of the data is a little bit messy, so they get to wrestle with that a little bit. It's really a good experience for them. I highly recommend this for use in your courses. All right, any questions about that? I know that I didn't spend any of the time on that for technical reasons. The chances of them engaging you for the next 10 minutes are just really slim. You're all just doing a heroic.
See, this is the genius of Kevin. He actually recognizes this.
I have the ability to project myself into your sleepy state. And I know you're paying me. All right, let's see. So I went through all that. You mastered all that. Now here, all right, I will mention this. Here's the real nice kind of punchline of all that work that you would have done. These are the two rules that are used in industry. Equal space or equal time allocations. This is what they do. You ask, go through warehouse and ask, how do you decide what goes in this flow rack? If he knows, and a lot of times they don't because it's done at warehouse management system level. Oh, well, we try to put 2 weeks of product in here so we don't have to restock it every 2 weeks. And these are just demonstrably bad policies. And you can show that by comparing them with the optimal policy using the software. Very fun exercise. And the point is, just a wee little bit of science available for free on the web can provide real value to companies. And that's what I try to lead. Especially if they go to work at a place like Manhattan Associates where they're going to be involved in the development of warehouse management systems. You can bring this science to that product if you can convince the company to do it, which is another story I can tell you all the time. Okay, so
what is the optimal policy?
Pardon me?
If those two policies are, what is the optimal policy?
The optimal policies are the things that I just skipped through. They're the mathematical models that were shown and the software, which are implemented in the software available on that website. So that's what I try to go through on the manual side. I go through a bit about unit load design, going to get pallets, single command, dual command, that kind of stuff. Then I bring them down into carton picking, talk about how to do that optimally. Then I go into flow rack, slotting, and all that kind of stuff. And that gives them a really, I think, a pretty comprehensive view of what goes on in a large distribution center. All of the cool automation notwithstanding. Okay? As far as the stuff that consumes the labor. And I want them to leave understanding when they walk into a distribution environment why it costs so much on the labor side and what they might be able to do to do better. That's what I'm trying to communicate. Okay. All right, so if you're going to do automated stuff, really at the graduate level especially, this could consume an entire course by itself. You'll want to cover classic results in automated storage and retrieval systems. Saw all that cool stuff yesterday on AD SRS. Very nice stuff. That's all new. That ought to be added. I should have a bullet here. There's now a significant body of research that you should go through. That's a real creative system. It's not widely used, but it's worth going through that analysis. That's nice stuff. Mini load systems design here. Carousels and BLM here. Just a couple of references. Bartholdi and Klattmann have one of the early, real neat papers on that. And then finally is something called grid-based systems, which I'll try to wake you up here right at the end and show you. This is new stuff that I'm doing, which I'm hoping to bring to you in some interesting ways pretty soon. Here's what the system is all about. Basically what we've done here is design a system with that's, the intention here is to make it very high density. And aisles consume space, right? That's the insight. Why did I have that aisle? That just consumes space. Why couldn't I store something there? Well, I have to travel there. Well, what if we could do away with the aisles? That was the insight. So we've created this puzzle-like architecture where products can move left and right, up and down, and I'm going to request that some things come out. So you can imagine, for example, maybe a high-speed order picking station out here that's calling into the grid saying, hey, I need product this or that. And that'll turn gold, and its goal is to get out to this row where it is whisked away, and in this little animation you're going to see it disappear instantly. So what we've done is designed a decentralized algorithm to execute this kind of system. And by that I mean inside each of these grids is a brain. And it's a little processor, and that grid, that cell, just looks to its left and right, its 4 neighbors, and it asks, hey, what's your condition? And they all report their conditions, and then there's a little electronic negotiation that happens this fast, and then they all decide what to do. There's no centralized controller out here explaining who should do what. Each of the individual cells is making a decision just based on what its neighbors are doing, and you get this emergent behavior as a result of those algorithms, those decentralized control algorithms. Here, the pink things, I apologize for the color. The pink things are replenishing something that's been brought out. So they're coming in from the top. And we have a number of research projects. Onur Uludag, who's in the back, he's my lead PhD student on this work. And he's working on some cool stuff and other developments. Yes.
Do you have look ahead visibility capability for this so that you, when you replenish, you know where to bring it to optimize the flow for future state?
Yeah, that's all stuff that we're working on. It turns out that the throughput here is a direct function of the number of gold things. So if I want to increase the throughput, I load it with more work in process. And basically, we can show that this kind of system will really never be a bottleneck. You can flow junk out of here as fast as you can convey,
Can you gridlock it?
for example. And it will not gridlock,
So it's not
or deadlock, yes.
So it's not a function of how many open spaces. You don't need n number of open spaces.
That's not, yeah, I overspoke there. You need at least one open space per row to execute this particular algorithm. That's true.
Kevin, I don't know if you actually implement this one, but it's very easy to implement this system by on 4 corners, on southern corner with Wi-Fi, and each box, each graph communicates with Bluetooth.
Yeah.
That's how you implement it.
Yeah, actually, this is, in the hardware side, these units, these individual units, have been built in Germany by a colleague. He's built something called the Flex Conveyor, where they plug these little units in. And anyway, this is cool stuff. If you go to YouTube and type Flex Conveyor, F-L-E-X Conveyor, on YouTube, F-L-E-X Conveyor. You can also type grid flow, that's what we call this, in YouTube, and get a little video of this. It's the idea of the Flex Conveyor in grid flow, G-R-I-D-F-L-O-W, that's what we call this. And what we're trying to do here, and then I'll finish with this is the last slide, is to provide a new way of thinking about automated material handling systems that are completely plug-in workable. We're calling it plug-in work. I plug these things together into whatever system I want, and this is the way Flex Conveyor works. They literally just plug them in, and it works. There's no programming to do over here. There's no other stuff to build. And in the same way, I could plug these storage grids together, or cells together, have a storage system that does things for me in the morning, and then I can unplug half of them, take them over to shipping in the evening, and plug them over there, and so on. So we have a whole bunch of sort of ideas of potential implementations and that sort of stuff. But it's just to get students thinking a little bit more about this trade-off between, the way you can use this on the teaching side is density versus throughput. What are the assumptions? Well, you've got to have aisles. Well, actually, you don't have to have aisles. You can show them this kind of thing and that sort of stuff. Get them thinking freely and that sort of stuff.
Kevin, would this fit into the model of, say, like you're thinking your computer, your RAM and ROM? Your ROM would be still your bulk warehouse with a qubit, and this would be like your RAM, that the orders that you're going to run that day. You keep this fed.
That's one application, exactly. Yeah. Yep. A whole bunch of other cool applications I can talk about later.
How do you scale it vertically for
Yeah.
extra storage? Is there a plan to have it like multiple?
Oh, this way
levels?
you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we haven't really worked on the lift problem, which I'm thinking about elsewhere with lifts.
Is this meant to be full unit load, or are you actually envisaging this being part of it?
When, you can do either. I think about it as totes, actually, and not unit loads.
Yeah.
Then each tote comes out, there's a pick made, and then it comes back in the top, and so on.
Was the flow grid you said?
Grid flow,
Grid flow.
GRID.
One word or 2 words?
One word.
So if you want to show this one, not this one, you gotta go into on this like conveyor or.
Or just write me and I'll send you a better video.
Okay.
They're big, the videos, unfortunately. Oh, actually, I'll say this, and this, I see Alice is standing, that's my signal. See her? She's about to yank me, she got the, get out of here. We just posted, my students have just posted a interactive, very impressive demonstration of this on the web where you can give it the grid size and you can give it the number of empty cells per row and observe the throughput and just see how it behaves. And then just run your own experiments with it. So that's actually about to be, well, it's on the web now. I guess it's accessible on that. Is that publicly accessible? Yeah, I just don't have a pointer to it. So sometime soon on my website, kevingu.com, you'll see a pointer to that little design tool, something fun to play with. And this really will be the last thing. We're also putting it on, no kidding, we have an iPad game. Oh, hold on. That's also not working. So I'm going to show you. Here is the, so basically what we're doing here is, this is working on the iPad. Actually, John would be so upset with me. He worked so hard to get this workable. What we're trying to do is bring this even down to the level that professors could play with it and have fun. I mean, K through 12 people. Just a little puzzle game of getting the red things out, and this, hopefully within the next month or two, or however long it takes to get through the approval thing at Apple, we'll have a little iPad game for people to play with, to be able to pull things out and move stuff. Again, with the intent, they're just getting a feel for this trade-off between density and throughput time. The more stuff you put in there, the longer it takes to get stuff out. That's the main idea. So that's where we're going with this. And that's the end.
Two more questions.
You talked about